Hey, it's Rick Campbell with Fantasy Points, back with my winners for week 2 in college football. Let's dive in. Nebraska at Colorado. I've got the Buffs -3 off of DraftKings. This is a best bet. Deion Sanders, Shedeur Sanders, and Travis Hunter are the it dudes in college football right now. But it's not just hype and hope. It's way more than that. This hot hand right here, folks, is very, very real because of the incredible collection of offensive talent that Coach Prime has imported to Boulder. Shedeur is going to be a pocket passer in the NFL for 10 to 15 years, okay? I don't know if he's going to be like a top-of-the-line Burrow, Mahomes type of guy, but he can really throw the rock. The Buffs have a phenom on their hands in Travis Hunter. He played 144 snaps in the win at TCU on both sides of the ball and dominated both sides of the ball. Shedeur threw for 510 yards and 4 touchdowns with wide receivers Travis Hunter, Jimmy Horn Jr., and Xavier Weaver, and freshman running back Dylan Edwards, all topping 100 receiving yards. 4 100-yard receivers in one game at TCU. Incredible. Colorado's speed and athleticism is a bad matchup for Nebraska's defense, which returns 8 starters from the 77th ranked defense a year ago. Nebraska just held the Gophers to 13 points. I can tell you that's not all that impressive. Minnesota does not have a great array of offensive talent. Now, Nebraska quarterback Jeff Sims is strong, athletic, talented, good with his feet. He shined on the ground last week with 91 yards on 19 carries, and he was pretty dreadful with his arm. 114 passing yards, 3 interceptions, including 1 into the end zone, okay? Shedeur versus Sims is a mismatch. Risk 2 units to win 1 on Colorado here, -4 at home opener against Nebraska. Moving on to Texas and Alabama. Alabama -7.5 on DraftKings, another best bet for you. This showdown game is going to come down to the coaches, the quarterbacks, and the venue. You've got Nick Saban against former assistant Steve Sarkisian. Saban is 28-2 against former assistants. The only guys to break through are Jimbo Fisher and Kirby Smart. Both of those guys are minted national championship coaches. Sark hasn't even been to a college football playoff, okay? So we're talking about a huge mismatch on the sideline between Saban and Sark. Jalen Milroe, now the Alabama quarterback, won the competition, and he shined last week against Middle Tennessee. He had 3 touchdown passes, 2 touchdown runs, first time in program history that any quarterback has ever done that. Quinn Ewers, on the other hand, I don't trust this dude, okay? He managed 1 touchdown drive in the first half at home against Rice. Now he's in Alabama? How's that going to work? Ewers completed 58% of his passes last year. I'm not impressed. Did not throw a touchdown in his abbreviated appearance against Alabama. I'm not impressed, guys. I'm rolling with Milroe. I'm rolling with Saban over Sark. I'm rolling with Alabama's vaunted home field advantage. I've been to games there. It's crazy, okay? I'm rolling with Alabama's dominant defense against a quarterback, Quinn Ewers, that I just don't trust. Risk 1.5 units to win 1 unit on Bama -7.5. Kent State at Arkansas. I'm most definitely not going with Kent State here, okay? Arkansas -37.5 on DraftKings. Kent State was gutted by the transfer portal in the offseason. The cupboard is bare. 0 returning starters on offense, 4 overall. Kent State just got smacked 56-6 at Central Florida with quarterback Michael Alamo throwing for 145 yards. The running game had 36 carries, 95 yards. We have nothing going on here offensively for Kent State, okay? Arkansas comes off a 56-13 mauling of Western Carolina at home, in which they covered a 38-point spread. Razorbacks quarterback KJ Jefferson was awesome, 18 of 23, 4 total touchdowns, got busy with his new weapons. Andrew Armstrong and Isaac Tesla, they came over through the portal. And Arkansas, I wouldn't say they have an explosive offense, although they might, but they have a really, really good, talented offense, okay? It's going to be way too much for Kent State. Raheem Sanders is the top back for Arkansas. He had only 42 yards last week. He is due for like 153 touchdowns, a massive, massive game, okay? The Razorbacks are going to score at will against Kent State. They will go to 50-plus again, and they will cover for the 2nd straight week. Risk 1 unit to win 1 unit on this one. Notre Dame, -7.5 at North Carolina State. That number's off DraftKings. Notre Dame has racked up a scoreboard through their first 2 games that reads 98-6, okay, because of dominant defense and the incredible surgical passing of Sam Hartman. The Irish run defense has been extremely impressive, allowing only 217 rushing yards on 83 carries, 2.6 per rush to Navy and East Tennessee State. Okay, that doesn't bode well for the Wolfpack. They're a run-heavy team without a lot of talent in the passing game. Last week in NC State's win at UConn, 24-14 complete snoozer. Brennan Armstrong was awesome with his legs, 19 carries, 96 yards, 2 touchdowns, and bad with his arm, 155 yards, no scores. The Wolfpack ran for 209 and 3 tilts in that underwhelming win at UConn. They're not going to be able to run the ball that effectively against Notre Dame. That is going to put the onus on Armstrong to beat Notre Dame with his arms and his lack of receiving weaponry. That ain't going to work, folks. Notre Dame is going to win that game within the game, and they're going to cover this spread. Hartman has been spectacular, 445 yards on 40 attempts, 82.5 completion rate, 6-0 TD to INT rate, and he hasn't even finished these games. He didn't even play the second half against East Tennessee State. He's got Jaden Greathouse, Jaden Thomas, 2 studs to throw the rock to down the field, and he's going to do that successfully here. I've got Notre Dame by 10. Risk 1 unit to win 1 unit on Notre Dame minus 7.5. And finally, I have an over for you. Mississippi at Tulane, over 65, minus 112 on DraftKings. Lane Kiffin and his spread offense in Jackson Dart up against Willie Fritz and his West Coast offense and their quarterback, senior quarterback Michael Pratt. Okay, both of these QBs got off last week. Dart went for 334 and 4 scores. Pratt went for 294 and 4 scores. They are going to be throwing haymakers at each other the whole game. Ole Miss just racked up 73 against Mercer. Tulane had 37 against South Alabama. Dart and the Rebels averaged 33.5 PPG last year. Pratt and the Green Wave averaged 36 points per game last year. See where I'm going with this? These teams live in the 30s, and they're going to be doing it again here. Tulane is comfortable against major college teams after beating both Kansas State and USC last year. Both teams are ranked in the top 25, Ole Miss at 22, Tulane at 24. This is going to be a very entertaining, high-scoring game. Plug into it and go over 65. Risk 1 unit to win 1 unit on this. I'm Rick Kamla. Have a great week of college football. Good luck, and always check us out on Fantasy Points.